I'm Holly.
And I'm Bridget.
And this
is Girls Next Level.
Welcome back to Girls Next Level podcast, everybody. We are so excited. We have a special guest here who we haven't seen in a minute, DJ Kayla Collins.
Hey! It's been so long.
Yeah, it has been forever. It's insane. I don't even want to say the amount of time that
it's been just time flies.
It really does.
So crazy.
It is crazy.
So you were Miss August 2008. You were on the show. You were on the episode that we're reviewing right now. But we want to go back, way back to the beginning. So tell us where you grew up and everything, what your childhood was like a little bit.
So I am from Pennsylvania originally, and I grew up in a very Christian household, very conservative. I wasn't even allowed to listen to secular music growing up, which... Yeah, I don't know if you ever knew that, but I feel like that's kind of like part of my rebellion was I grew up in such a sheltered environment. Actually, when I got to California, people labeled me a green square.
Green square?
Do you know what that is? Or do you know what they're referencing?
No.
Basically, being green, and then being a square.
Damn, just a double dip.
Yeah. But I was just so naive when I got to California, and just the whole change from Pennsylvania to California was just completely different.
Yeah.
I grew up in a small town. So
what town?
Actually, I'm closest to a place called Reading, Pennsylvania. Oh. And the only other person that's from there, well, actually, I think there's two people that are notable from there. Taylor Swift.
Oh.
I went to theater school with Taylor Swift randomly.
Oh, you're kidding.
What?
Yeah, which is so random.
Yeah.
What do you remember about her? People are going to want to know.
She actually grew up really wealthy, and she had her parents actually had this big mansion that had an indoor swimming pool in it.
Ooh,
I know, it must be nice, right?
Yeah.
It was crazy. And so she was always the star of every play we did. It was a theater school that we did Bye Bye Birdie, and she was always the star in everything. So she was pretty much a shoo-in that she was going to be who she is today.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty interesting. And then the guy who created YouTube went to my high school.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I know. So it's kind of random because I'm from such a small area that they're from there too, but...
Well, one thing I know about Reading, Pennsylvania is it's the Reading Railroad.
On Monopoly.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing I always tell people because they're like, Reading? I don't know where that
but
is.
It looks like it's Reading. So
does.
growing up, I always said Reading Railroad, the Reading Railroad, and then somebody
so
one day
funny.
said, it's Reading. I'm like, oh.
I know, and there's a Reading, California, but it's spelled R-E-D-D.
Yeah, but it's actually spelled Reading.
Right, exactly. Exactly. It's spelled correctly. We're just a little weird in Pennsylvania.
That's so funny. How'd you first learn or discover Playboy?
I was probably it's actually a funny story. I was dating a guy when I was probably 15 years old who he was such a big fan of Jenny McCarthy and Pamela Anderson, and he had pictures of them or posters on his wall. And he was a jerk and just totally broke my heart. And I was like, one day I'm going to be a playmate and he's going to regret. I'm going to be one of them and he's going to regret ever doing this to me.
I love it.
I know. So I basically manifested it into my life.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I just always, from that point on, I would tell everybody that I'm going to be a playmate one day. And then once the Girls Next Door started airing, I was such a big fan of you guys. And I went, obviously this was during the MySpace era.
Yeah.
So I went on MySpace and found all of you on MySpace and friend requested you. And that's kind of how Holly and I ended up connecting because she saw my friend request. And it's like people are like, wait, so Holly discovered you on MySpace? Like, how did she find you? And I'm like, well, I sent her a friend request, but you saw my picture, right? And
yeah, that's kind of how it was done. Like, you already had a pretty big following on MySpace, if I remember correctly.
just like a MySpace, like I was like a MySpace girl,
Yeah.
Wait, but can I interrupt really quick?
Yeah.
Were you already living in LA or were
No.
you still in Pennsylvania?
I was still in Pennsylvania.
Okay,
yeah. Yeah.
And MySpace was interesting because it wasn't a very discoverable platform.
Mm-hmm.
So when I would find girls on there I thought were good for Playboy, it was usually people who like sent me friend requests because you had to approve. For those who don't know, unless you had a bot to do it, you had to approve every single friend
one.
request.
Yeah.
People just couldn't automatically join you. And so that's why I kind of felt comfortable like asking people that I thought had the look on MySpace, because I figured if they were following me, then they knew the show and probably were a fan and like knew what Playboy was at least. So I'm not like cold asking some random 18-year-old, you know what I mean?
So funny. I know. And also it was so funny because I thought it was you guys, but then everybody was like, are you sure?
Right.
Like, are you sure? And I remember you took a picture with your MySpace number and sent it to me. And you were like, I swear this is me. I just want to let you know. And you can also verify with the office of Playboy that it's me.
Yeah, that's how you had to do it because they didn't have verified accounts back then on MySpace. So if you wanted to prove it was you, there was like a MySpace like code number that each page was given. So you had to write down what the code number was and like take a picture with it and post that picture, which is like these days people would just Photoshop that.
Right.
But back then that was like how you authenticated it.
Yeah. I kind of remember that.
Yeah. So funny.
It was such
Those
a
were the
funny
days,
time.
right?
Did you ever have any top 8 drama? Like when you...
Oh, yeah. And then they made it like, then it was like top 12. And then you could like get the little plug-in that you can make it like top 25 or whatever it was.
And
I
then
always wanted to add more because there was so much drama. Like who was going to be in your top 8?
And then sometimes there was an order you had them in, and sometimes there would be a glitch and the order would switch without you doing it, and people would be like, what did I do?
Yes. It's so funny. I know how social media has evolved, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
It's so funny.
What were you doing on MySpace? Like you had a following and everything. Like, what were you posting on there and stuff? Or were you like engaging? Like how? I don't even know what people did back then to get like the big following.
I had modeled like through my teens, like childhood and teens, and so I would always I would go and do photo shoots and everything.
Okay.
And I think when I sent you a friend request, I had like a little headshot that I took that was in my Friendly's ice cream shop uniform top.
Oh.
And so it wasn't even like a modeling picture. And you were like, send that one in. I like that picture as your headshot or whatever to send. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I wasn't really doing anything, but I think I just was active on MySpace.
Yeah.
And I was blonde and, was like following all the, like, do you remember that girl? I think her name was like Forbidden. Do you know what I'm talking about?
We mentioned that before. Yes.
Yeah. So I like loved her. I thought she was so cool, and I just followed that world, like I was so interested in Playboy and I would take like little just pictures with my friends. Like I had Playboy plastered all over my walls, like little Playboy bunny symbols on my walls and everything. And so I would take pictures, like do little mock photo shoots with my friends too. Just, I actually brought one along. I brought a little scrapbook that I'm going to share with you guys.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so cute. We had a little look at it before. It's adorable. And how old were you when we first connected? Do you remember?
I think when we very first talked, I was like 18.
Oh, damn.
And then we talked for like 2 years because I had you told me I should test to be a playmate. And I told my mom and she like freaked out because she didn't believe that I was talking to you. And she's like, no, like it's not what you think, And so I kind of got scared. I was like, Mom, I'm telling you, this is like the stepping stone that could get me to everything I want to do. Like I never got to this goal, but I always dreamed of being a St. Pauli girl. Do you remember the St. Pauli girl?
I auditioned for St. Pauli girl. I wanted to be a St. Pauli girl so bad.
So bad because like the blonde, it was just such a, and I'm German, part German.
Yeah,
so I'm
same.
like, I just thought I could be a St. Pauli girl. And I thought, well, that would be the perfect timeline to start off being a playmate. And
a
then
lot
they
of
would
them
consider,
were.
and then they probably considered me to be a St. Pauli girl. So that unfortunately never happened. I wonder if they still do that. The St.
We
Pauli
were
girls.
talking about it because we're like, we should do something with St. Pauli.
I know. I wish they would. That would be so fun. They haven't done it in a long time.
Oh, they haven't.
No. So you wanted to be St. Pauli girl. Same.
Yeah.
What else did you want to do? Like when you grew up?
I always wanted to be a DJ, actually. So I learned like as soon as I moved to California because I had that goal and vision, but I was so scared of like actually doing it for a while because the stage fright. I've always had so much stage fright. Like even in theater school, I was just, as soon as I would get up on a stage, I would freeze. Like I would get on a mic and I'd be like whispering. Like I was so scared. And so, yeah, I finally broke out of my shell, but it took me a while. And Playboy really helped that, obviously. Those were the main things. And then while I was still living in Pennsylvania, I obviously worked at an ice cream shop, Friendly's. Have you ever heard of Friendly's? Or do you know
I've heard
Friendly's?
of it. I've
But it's
definitely
more
heard
East
of it.
Coast.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
we probably haven't been.
You know what's so funny is they have a Sunday that's called the Happy Ending Sunday.
Whoa.
Wow.
Dang.
I know, what a name, right? But at the time, I don't think that was really a thing. Like happy endings. I don't think it was a thing. But yeah, it was actually just so perfect that we ended up doing the photo shoot that we did in the ice cream shop.
The ice cream theme.
Yeah.
Cute. It's really cute.
Inspired by Friendlies.
Yes.
So because you'd seen the show before when you were coming out to test, did you feel like you knew what to expect from seeing like other girls test on the show?
Yeah. So to the point where I'm sure you remember. So that was like the time that I came out and did the test shoot. That was like Hef's first time going over to the office. And so I didn't know that was happening until like in the midst of the shoot. But while we were shooting, obviously it's so professional. People have that question all the time. Like, was it professional or was it, not?
Yeah.
And I never had any bad experiences with Playboy. It was always so, like, it was so comfortable. And you obviously made it, like, it was great. Like, it didn't feel scary at all. And I just knew in my heart, like, this is what I'm going to do, to where I was just like, I wasn't nervous or... I guess I was nervous. Oh, man, I was a little nervous. But I don't know. I just, like... owned it, basically. Like I was like, I wanted to do this for so long. I feel like I get like more nervous even now than I did back then because I just had no like inhibitions. I was like so young and I was like, I'm gonna do this. Like, and I saw a lot of test shoots on The Girls Next Door, enough that I felt like, yeah, this is gonna be easy.
I've been a big fan of Kettle and Fire's bone broth for a few years now, and I've recently set the goal of trying to have bone broth every day. Why? Because it's great for my gut health, it's great for my protein consumption, and for muscle recovery. You can get it plain, or you can try it in my favorite flavors, turmeric ginger and lemongrass ginger. They have a bunch of other amazing flavors too. Kettle and Fire bone broth is rich, savory, slow simmered, and tastes as good as it is for you. Having it daily helps with gut health and digestion, muscle recovery and energy, and immune function. It's made with 100% grass-fed and finished beef bones or organic free-range chicken bones. There's no additives, no preservatives, no weird stuff, just clean, real ingredients. With up to 19 grams of protein per serving, it keeps you full between meals and can help curb cravings. Kettle and Fire is perfect for a quick, protein-packed snack in the morning, keeping you steady between meetings to get you through the afternoon slump, a cozy evening wind down, or you can use it to upgrade your meals. Add it to rice, soups, or sauces for richer flavor and extra protein. You'll see a difference in your gut health and cravings. Many people notice less bloating and fewer snack attacks. Kettle and Fire is the easiest upgrade to your routine. Comfort you can sip, steady benefits you can feel, and real nourishment you can feel good about. For a limited time, you can get a free carton of Kettle and Fire bone broth by going to kettleandfire.com/nextlevel. Just buy any 3 cartons in store and they'll pay you back for one. This works on any flavor at any retailer. You can find Kettle and Fire in over 22,000 plus stores nationwide, including Costco, Walmart, Target, Publix, Whole Foods, Kroger, and Sprouts. That's KETTLE and fire.com/nextlevel.
Have you guys tried OS1 yet? I use it under my eyes, on my face, on my body. Like, I am loving it. I thought OneSkin was just going to be another moisturizer that I wasn't going to see a lot of differences, but boy was I wrong. And it's so simple to use, which I appreciate. You just cleanse, pat your skin dry, and apply twice daily. At OneSkin's core is their patented OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to target senescent cells, the root cause of wrinkles, crepiness, and loss of elasticity, which are all key signs of skin aging, with results validated in 5 published clinical studies. I know I've seen a difference, but customers consistently rave about how their skin is smoother, firmer, and healthier looking, with results that get better over time. No wonder OneSkin's product have over 10,000 5-star reviews. And listen to some of their reviews, like, I never thought a lotion would improve my skin texture the way it did. I had crepey skin on my neck, upper arms, and upper knees, and it has made my skin in these areas smooth and tighter. And another review, my esthetician told me my skin looks the best she has ever seen it. So you guys know I'm putting that stuff everywhere.
OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company, targeting cellular aging to keep your skin and scalp looking and acting younger for longer. For a limited time, you can try OneSkin with 15% off using code NEXTLEVEL at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code NEXTLEVEL. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Try OneSkin today. Your future self will thank you.
I got this.
Yeah. Well, you did a great job.
So Holly reaches out to you, and then and Playboy flies you out.
No, so actually, I had a friend. So Holly and I had kept in touch for like the few years, and then I had planned on coming out to California.
Oh.
And I reached back out to Holly on MySpace and said that this is how I remember it going, that I reached back out to you on MySpace, told you I'd be coming out, and then you said that I should really consider testing for Playboy. And then from there, you were telling me that you were talking to the producers and you were telling them how we met on MySpace, and you were doing another test shoot with Angel and I think her name was Melody. Valerie, and then Melody, yeah. And you asked if I could test while I came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm gonna do it. And so yeah, I didn't stay at the mansion, but I got to come hang out and took a bunch of pictures, which are also, some of them are in the album that I brought. So yeah, it was definitely an experience.
But when you came to test, you came with a guy.
I did. So this guy, he was a friend of mine who I did this campaign when I was 18. It was called Caribbean Tan. It was kind of like Hawaiian Tropic. And I shot it in Cancun. And I met him in Cancun, and we stayed friends. And then he invited me to come out to California. And now this guy, I haven't talked to him in years, and I've heard that he's actually a missing person, which is really scary.
Oh my
That is
gosh.
crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know what has happened. I had a mutual friend reach out to us and tell me that he was missing, and I have no idea what happened, but he basically was like the catalyst to bring me out to California, and I think he even got to come to the mansion with me because he was out.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I feel like I do too.
Yeah, it was like awkward because he was just this random like guy tagging along with me. Yeah, and I swear, because I watched you guys on the show and I felt like I already belonged there. Like I felt like I fit right in. Like you guys are already my best friends because I knew so much about you, and obviously you didn't know as much about me, but I just like felt like you were already my friends because
Aw.
yeah.
Aw, I know.
We'll have to get that guy's info from you so I can like plug it into the edit. Like if there's any like name or like missing persons, like number to call. Or
I
anything.
agree. He's
So
been
crazy.
missing, I think it's been like almost 2 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's scary.
So I don't know if they'll ever find him, which is awful.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of the Playboy studio when you arrived?
The Playboy studio was just epic. Obviously, the sets that they built for everybody were so cool. I remember, I think they were shooting, I can't remember. I know they were shooting other stuff while I was in there. So I got to see other sets, and they were really cool. And my set was so cool. Obviously, my test shoot, that was just a random, like, bedroom scene.
A lot of people shot on there. I don't even remember who it was originally built for, but, like, I know Regina did, like, her Playmate shoot on there. And then
Are you talking about the gold? That
the
gold?
black and gold.
Yeah.
And Kim Kardashian did part of her shoot there.
Oh, really?
Like, a lot of people did their shoots there, but I don't remember who it was built for. Like, I don't think it was for Regina. Maybe it was. And I don't think it was for Kim, because they kind of called her back last minute to do some photos.
That's so crazy that
set
Kim
got a
shot
lot
on
of
that same
use,
set.
yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
So how did you think your test shoot went?
I thought it went great because Holly was giving me good feedback, and when Hef came to the studio, it was just the most, it was like awkward, but also just, I can't believe this all happened, because I was like shooting in the middle of when he got there, and I like jumped down off of the bed. Do you remember this? And I gave him a hug.
And I just remember, like, nobody knew he was coming, and he, like, sneaks up behind Arnie, and he's like, oh, hey. And, like, they haven't seen him in, like, 30 years.
Oh my gosh, they hadn't?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
even I don't think Arnie and Steve were getting invited. Like, they would get invited to the big parties.
Yeah.
But I was the one who got them on the list to, like, start coming to the smaller things, too. Because I'm like, how come these guys aren't more, like, part of the family?
Right.
Yeah.
But he hadn't been to the studio since they first bought it, I think in the 90s, which wasn't 30 years. I'm exaggerating now. But it was a long time
Well,
since
yeah,
he
I
had been
think-
down there.
So he hadn't been since the 90s, you said?
Yeah,
Hef
when
had
I
it.
first got that studio.
Okay,
I think
yeah.
he toured it, like, once and then never came back.
Right. That's what I heard. I remember you telling me that. I was like, wow, that is so crazy that he just came to my
Yeah.
test shoot.
It was
And
a special day.
it was pretty cool. It was like, I'll never forget that. And the way that I handled it, it just, like, everybody's like, wow, did you feel uncomfortable? Just, like, jumping down off the bed and giving him a hug naked? And I was like, well, I guess I just was... I knew that he saw that all the time, and I just didn't think it was like that big of a deal,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, it was really cool.
And I think you're the only Playmate that he ever took a picture of, a professional picture.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Hef
Yeah.
took the picture.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I completely forgot about that. So you reminded
Yeah.
me. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, at the end of the episode, I'm showing him the pictures, and I'm like, that's the one you took. And he goes, I should hire myself as a
Yeah, I know.
photographer.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Wow, I completely forgot about that until you reminded me. It just brings back so many memories. It feels like ages ago.
Yeah. And how was filming for you? Like, working with the crew, filming everything for Girls Next Door?
I always loved it. I thought everybody was really cool, and I heard that Kevin passed away,
Yeah,
which
in
is
2020.
so sad.
Yeah.
I loved Kevin. He was the best, and everybody was great with the Girls Next Door, and I just felt so appreciative to be a part of you know, the episodes and the things that I was a part of, and because I was such a fan,
Yeah.
it was just so cool. Like, wow, I watched you guys, and now I'm here on the show, and I don't know if you remember, but I'm sure you guys have watched the episodes back quite a bit now. We went to Vegas for my it was for Hef's
Yeah, it was supposed to be your
82nd
birthday. Yeah,
and
and you
my
had that big
21st
Sunday.
birthday.
Yeah.
So I was like just turning 21, and that was so cool that was captured on the show too.
Yeah.
So there was just so many cool things that happened because of the Girls Next Door getting to capture everything.
That was fun.
You didn't get centerfold right away. Did Holly tell you that, or did Stephanie tell you that you didn't?
I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember how, because I think you called me. I don't remember
I
how.
think I did too. I didn't remember at first, like when I was writing these questions, but like rewatching the show, they have me sitting down in the dining room by myself.
I think
with
they
just
portrayed
the
it like
phone.
this. So they portrayed it like I hadn't gotten it yet, because I think they wanted to like separate the or have some suspense, because you called me like a few weeks later after I did it and told me that I would shoot, but I would be later on. Like,
Oh, so I kind of told you were kind of like in the file.
yes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like I think because Valerie was what month was she? Was she September?
You know what happened is out of the 4 girls who tested, Valerie was the one that got picked out of that episode. But then after the episode aired and we screened it at the mansion, all of Hef's friends were like, wait, the blonde didn't get it? And I have that. Well, you brought this email and that I wrote to you, and I go, Kayla, I saw the rough cut of the Girls Next Door episode you are in. It's fabulous. I don't know why I'm giving myself this voice, but Hef showed all his friends and they reacted so strongly to you. He would like to shoot you as soon as possible. Are you free for a few weeks in January? What were some of your pictorial ideas? You have such an all-American look. I'm so cringe. I thought of 4th of July thing. We didn't do 4th of July.
Oh my gosh. I completely
didn't
forgot
we?
about this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, we did. We did a pool. Do you remember the pool stuff that we did? So it was
did we
kinda
just
like,
not use the
it was
4th
like
of July
summer.
pictures? Because I remember we used the picture with the big pink floaty.
Yes.
Okay.
So we did. I don't think we did anything like specific to 4th of July because we weren't sure what my month was going to be. We just did like summery themes.
Oh, yeah, because you did end up being Miss August.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. But I haven't decided for sure yet. So feel free to throw any ideas you have out there. Love, Holly. So that's what happened is like Valerie got it. And then after the episode aired, and even in the episode, I think we say that you're kind of put on hold for like a maybe later. And then all the guys freaked out and Hef was like, okay, call her up.
That's so crazy. See,
Yeah.
I didn't remember that either, but that's so funny that I'm so glad I brought that because
Me
it's like
too.
bringing
I'm
back
so
all
glad
the
you
memories.
have all this amazing stuff
It's
in your
a-
scrapbook.
And it's so funny. You said you're cringe because I can't even watch those episodes without cringing at like my voice. It was completely different. My voice was like a little Minnie Mouse.
Everybody feels that way. Angel just said the same thing. She's like, I can't watch myself. I'm like, you're adorable. What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh.
Nobody
no.
likes hearing themselves back, though,
It's
because it
weird.
never
So
sounds
true.
like what we think we sound like.
Yeah, I was definitely that green square though. I was like totally green square.
How excited are we that fall is finally here? And I know with it comes a lot of other things like back to school rush, early morning drop offs, after school activities, football games, and those last minute supply runs. And let's not forget the extra trips for the grocery store, the coffee, and gas. As the days get busier, all of these things add up and they add up fast. But here's the good news. With the free Upside app, there's an easy way to earn real cash back every time you fill up your tank or grab a bite to eat or stock up on essentials. Whether you're driving across town for a soccer game or picking up snacks for the school lunchbox, Upside helps you keep more in your pocket.
In fact, Top Upside has given back $1 billion to its users.
So here's what it does. The free Upside app gets you cash back on daily essentials like gas, groceries, and dining. There are over 100,000 gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants on the Upside app, ensuring that cash back is always just around the corner. And yes, it's real cash back. No confusing rewards or points or credits, just actual money you can transfer straight to your bank account. Worry about it for filling up my tank, but I definitely use it when I go out to eat or go grocery shopping. Upside has given back $1 billion to its users. To find out how much you could earn, download the free Upside app and use promo code NEXTLEVEL to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code NEXTLEVEL. You guys know how much I loved my little Winnie and how much I miss her now. We really went through drastic measures to keep her around as long as we could. Now I have 2 cats. I have Wizard, who's 14, and unfortunately, he's starting to show a little signs of aging.
Girl, I know exactly what you're talking about. My dog Louie is a rescue, so I'm not exactly sure how old he is, but he's at least 16 and he's going through all kinds of things. So we want to give you a quick message from today's sponsor, the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program. So you know your pet is part of the family. You'd pretty much do anything for them, but the vet bills can add up quicker than you'd think. That's why it's worth checking out ASPCA Pet Health Insurance. Pet insurance can help manage the vet bills so you can focus on what really matters, making sure your pet gets the care they need when they need it. Oh, and here's a little bonus. There's a perk for enrolling. When you enroll in an ASPCA pet health insurance plan, you could get a $25 Amazon gift card. It's a little treat for you while you're doing something great for your pet. The program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier to get your pet the care that they may need. It's been around for almost 20 years and has covered nearly 1 million pets in that time. You can tailor your plan to fit your budget, your lifestyle, and your pet's particular quirks. Because big vet bills never show up when it's convenient, do they? To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com/nextlevel. That's aspcapetinsurance.com/nextlevel. Eligibility restrictions apply. Visit aspcapetinsurance.com/Amazon terms for more info. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independent American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance.
So, and then what happened was it wasn't long before you got Centerfold, and you actually got published a month before Valerie. Mm-hmm. So that just is like how it panned out.
So, because she was September, right?
Yeah, she was September,
that's what I
and you were
thought.
August,
So,
yeah.
I thought it was quick. I don't remember like 100%, but I thought it was quick. I think you called me and told me maybe that like I was in the, like you said, in the file or something like that. So I was just like, and like I said, I knew in my heart that I was going to be a Playmate. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to be a Playmate. Like,
Manifesting.
I'm like, I'm going to hear from her. And then, yeah.
Did you get a lot of feedback from your friends and family about your appearance on the show?
Well, you know what's funny is the guy that I mentioned, he was one of the first, obviously people from my area, because it is a small town, so it's like cool, you know, and our mutual friends told him that I was going to be on the show, and he was one of the first to call me, and he's like, hey, so I think he invited me on like a cruise. I'm like, a cruise? Like, so random. I haven't talked to you. Of course, I declined the cruise, but it was just so satisfying. Like,
Yes, that's
Very.
perfect.
I feel it.
Were there any haters?
Oh my gosh. Actually, there was a girl that I had been friends with since I was like in kindergarten. And for whatever reason, there's actually like some backstory to like kind of like family fallout, I suppose. I never knew that we had any sort of like drama between us. But apparently it rubbed her the wrong way that I was in Playboy, because for Halloween, she decided to be Miss August 2008 with a banner on her. It was so weird. She wore like a sachet, okay? But the weirdest thing was she wore this like curly haired wig and like said that she was Miss August 2008. She pranced around on Halloween like that. I was like, that is the most cringe. You look so ridiculous.
That's
like,
weird.
It was so weird.
She wanted to wear your skin.
It was so creepy. I'm like, I don't understand what that was all about. Like, what?
That's weird, especially like the
curly
specific
wig.
month and year.
Yeah.
It's almost like she was trying to make fun.
Oh, of course. No, she was like hating on, like somebody actually contacted me and said, did you know that, I'm not going to mention her name, but that she did that?
So weird.
And I saw the picture and I was like, oh my gosh. What's with the curly wig? Like, it would be funny if I could pull that picture up with the curly wig and just like blur out her face.
Know. Let me know if you find it.
Expose her. What a hater. I hope she sees this.
I'll put an emoji over her face. So when you finally did get to stay at the mansion to shoot your pictorial, what did you think of it? Were you in the guest house at first?
So when I shot my pictorial, I was in the guest house, yes. And that was so cool, being in the guest house. And I remember like waking up, we had to wake up at like the crack of dawn to shoot. I was told not to tan, and I tanned like every day down in that tanning bed. I was like, I'm going to be tan. You know, because it's so funny because back in that era, it was like white hair and extra tan skin.
Yes. Well, I definitely told Valerie no more spray tan.
Yeah.
Because the spray tans back then looked orange.
Yeah. I only did the tanning booth back then, which is terrible. I don't do that anymore. But
Do you remember what room you stayed at in the guest house?
I think I stayed in like a couple of them, but I don't specifically remember. Yeah, I don't specifically remember which room. I just remember like they were all so cool the way they were decorated. Didn't you have a
I did,
part
yeah.
in that? Yeah, I loved that. All the like Playboy decor all over the place.
All the memorabilia.
Yeah, it was cool.
Do you remember, were there any other girls staying in the guest house when you were there? Any other playmates that you got to know or anybody?
I don't think so. I think I was on my own. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I remember like calling my mom and just like chit-chatting with her while I was like all by myself ordering food and yeah.
Were there people that you bonded with immediately?
Holly, I really like I obviously stuck to you because you made me feel comfortable, you know, and there was all the girls. Like I tried to bond with all of the girls. There was obviously a lot of cattiness through I don't know if you guys have ever talked about that. I got some unfortunate like stuff from just like the cattiness that, you know, from the different girls that were in that.
I'm like, I want to know more.
I want to know more too. Like, you don't have to name names if you don't want,
Yeah.
but I'm curious because sometimes we don't see all of it. Like, people are going to act a certain way around me because I'm the editor, because I'm
For
Hef's
sure.
girlfriend. Like, I don't necessarily see everything that's
Oh my
going
gosh,
on.
it was bad.
Really?
us.
Yeah.
What
Tell
era
us.
was it? Was it when you were like living at the bunny house?
Well,
or?
remember, I never moved into the bunny house, which we'll get into in
Oh
a
yeah,
little bit.
Angel
I was
mentioned you were
supposed
in a
to.
room in the house.
So no, I wasn't.
Oh.
But I was there. I was like with you guys all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was at the mansion. Like I ended up staying there so often because I
Yeah.
was living in Orange County.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I would stay for like weeks at a time at the mansion,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of how it was like intertwined and felt like I lived at the bunny house. But I won't name names, but she knows who she is. But somebody you might know of this when
I'm curious.
I say, because you know there was so much drama with everybody wanting to be Playmate of the Year.
I was going to ask you about that because we were gone by the time, like, or in the process of leaving by the time they picked Playmate of the Year. So I did want to ask you what that
What do you
was
mean
like.
in the process of leaving?
Well, I had like broken it off with Hef in like August of 2008.
You did? I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was that early.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know for a couple more months because I moved down the hall to bedroom 5 just to like finish shooting and packing up my stuff. And then I moved out Halloween of 2008. But I was still worked at the studio for a couple months and I would still come back to do like DVD commentary and things like that. And then Bridget and Kendra were slowly packing up to go their separate ways. So by the time they chose PMOY 2009 in January, I was like gone. I'd like quit the studio and I like knew who was picked, but I was out of the loop enough that I didn't know. I wanted to ask you, like, was there a lot of competition your year? What was going on? What were people doing?
It was so, because obviously you guys know that Hef, I was like, I feel like he always told me I was like his type of girl, you know, which I have a story for you guys a little bit later, but I didn't know. Obviously, was he the main decision maker at that time?
Yeah,
Like, he was
I
the one who
mean-
picked Playmate of the Year, basically off of like
The reader's poll.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would
and-
take a lot into consideration. He would
Yes.
ask like Pat Lacey what she thought.
Right.
A lot of it was like readers poll, like Gary Cole in Chicago, and then Pat Lacey.
feedback.
Yeah.
Also, like, well, Ida ended up being Playmate of the Year, and she was like, she fit that era, that year, and she had like almost zero involvement with the Playboy world. You know,
Really?
even
She
you
pieced
didn't know that.
out?
Oh, it was like even during her Playmate of the Year, I don't think. You know, she just did what was like really required of her, but it wasn't like she was like super engaged with the Playboy family, Playboy world. And she really wasn't like engaged with the other girls, or like, it was just it was kind of weird, but there was so much drama between the girls because everybody wanted Playmate of the Year, obviously.
Yeah.
And so one of the girls took my magazines, every magazine, because you know, during our month that they would put the magazine, your magazine
Like
out.
the last
yeah,
3
yeah.
or 4, yeah.
Yeah. So they'd be down in the gym and like on all the coffee tables, right? So every single magazine throughout the mansion, this specific girl drew mustaches and pubic hair.
Stupid! Oh my god!
You could probably take like a wild guess at who it was. Like, she was so mean. She also would take, and I just like wanted to be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
So like I just didn't know why. But the only thing I could think of is like, well, because everybody wanted Playmate of the Year. So she just like hated on me. And she was like a mean girl. She was literally the definition of a mean girl.
I can see that.
I know because of how the back, or, you know, what I got from her. And just, I never did anything to her. And another thing she did was she would take, because, you know, we get fan mail to the mansion. She'd take all my mail, and the butlers told me that she'd take my mail and throw it out and spit on it.
Stop.
Like, who does
I can
that?
see it though with the spitting.
It's
Like
so
that's so
weird.
on brand.
So weird. Through my like high school years, I always had like mean girl stuff happen to me. So I was, I guess, kind of used to it. But it hurt my feelings so much because I just wanted to be everybody's friend so bad.
Yeah.
And other than the Playmate of the Year thing, I just thought that's the only reason that she could potentially not really like me. And that I, like, you called yourself cringe. I look back and I'm like, man, I was so cringe. Like, I was like a little like green square and was just so dorky. So I don't know. Maybe she hated me because of that. I have no idea.
I don't know. I think looking back on her, I think she was just like a heat-seeking missile, and there always had to be somebody. So back to more pleasant memories.
Yes,
so you come back to
exactly.
shoot your pictorial, and we did a whole like retro ice cream parlor, which was super fun and had like 50s day on set. Do you remember like, and then we shot on location at a house too. Like any specific memories from your pictorial, or how was that?
I think I loved the set, like the ice cream shop set was so fun. I thought we did the whipped cream stuff. That was like so cute and fun. And it was fun because it was so comparable to my teen, because I also, before I worked at Friendly's, I worked at Dairy Queen. So it was like literally the ice cream queen. So it kind of fit. And then, yeah, I think, you know, we did those, the videos too. So we shot at that like pink diner. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, that was
were
a
you
cute
there?
set. I wasn't there because I didn't have any like jurisdiction over the
In the
videos or
videos.
anything.
Okay, yeah.
But it was at the Pink Motel, that diner.
Yes.
It's such a cute set.
That was so
Oh
cute.
my God.
Yeah, that was cool. And I've seen other shoots being done there, and I'm just like, wow, that's pretty iconic. Like,
They're always so cute.
getting to shoot there. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really cool.
I think I've told you guys recently about one of the solutions I have to my crazy supplement stack, taking so many vitamins every morning. Everyday Dose coffee is affordable, and it covers so many of my bases in just a cup of coffee. It takes 30 seconds to make, and you get coffee plus a bunch of supplements with vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. Everyday Dose offers coffee that does more. Coffee Plus features 100% Arabica coffee enhanced with functional ingredients for smooth energy, calm focus, gut health, and skin support. No crash, no jitters, the all-in-one coffee that makes you feel as good as it tastes. Coffee Plus is available in 2 varieties. There's the mild roast. It's smooth and light-bodied with 45 milligrams of caffeine. There's the medium roast, rich and full-bodied with 90 milligrams of caffeine. Both feature 100% Arabica coffee enhanced with functional ingredients for a smoother, more focused energy boost. Ingredients undergo third-party testing to ensure purity and potency. It's free from mold, and it's rich in active compounds. Exciting news. You can now find Everyday Dose in Target stores across the country. Celebrate with a buy one, get one deal. Just buy any 2 Everyday Dose products at a Target store near you, and they'll pay you back for one. Visit everydaydose.com/GNL for more details.
So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. And just the early mornings. I remember I'm not a morning person. So.
Yeah, it was early. Like my bedtime schedule definitely changed when I started working at the studio. Like
Yeah.
Hef and I were not on the same sleep schedule
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh my gosh, no.
I'm wearing the shirt from your pictorial.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious?
Yeah. I always try to sneak in an Easter egg when I have one.
Oh, how cute. Wait, so I actually like wore that?
Yeah, because sometimes I would
What?
bring my own clothes and shoes just to like save money. Like we had a stylist, but then
Yeah.
like I was always trying to like cut the budget. So I was always so excited when a playmate had like 7.5 or 8 size shoes because I'm like, yes, it's the magic shoe number.
Oh, how
Like,
funny.
Bring the shoes and bring the clothes.
Oh my gosh. Wow, I don't even remember.
Right?
Like, did we ever use those pictures?
I don't know if those pictures were used in the end because
Yeah.
it's more like, I mean, you know how it is. Like the clothes end up being more of an accessory.
For
or
sure. Like
you have it like
hanging
around your
off.
waist or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. So do you remember being asked to come? I guess you weren't living at the bunny house, but we kind of had a group of girls like Angel and Laura and Juliana who were like living at the bunny house, and you were asked to come be at the house to like film more for Girls Next Door.
Mm-hmm. So because I guess like I always stayed at the mansion, like, or in the guest house. I never made it to the bunny house. I don't know if you remember like kind of the turn of events that happened that like led to that. But that
I don't. So fill me in, because when I think of that era, like we were just talking about it with Angel, I think of all you guys being over at the bunny house. So I'm misremembering.
And I kind of was like included in that. Like I remember there was one time where they were thinking about making a show on the bunny house. Were you still there?
I was gone, but I was doing Holly's World with Kevin. So Kevin was telling me about it like every step of the way. And I was going to ask you if you ended up doing it, because I remember he really wanted you and Ida, but I think you guys both didn't end up doing it for some reason.
Well, we did I think we did a shoot like a
personality
pilot
test.
No, I think we did a pilot or something, and I remember we did like. They came over and gave us spray tans, I think. And like they had a company that came over and gave us spray tans. And I don't remember all the little details, but it obviously didn't work out. Like the show didn't work out. But yeah, I mean, I felt so appreciative that I got to be involved in getting to stay at the mansion all the time. And yeah, I almost felt like a part of the family, you know, like it was really cool. Yeah.
What was the turn of events,
I
though,
know.
where you were staying at the mansion instead of the bunny house?
Well, so the reason I was like pausing is because it's kind of part of my answer for like the
Mean Girl stuff?
no, for like the two questions that you gave me.
Oh, the wildest things that happened.
okay.
Yeah. So I thought, I don't know, should
Do you think it's better to talk about it now or at the end?
Well, then I don't know my answers if I
Well,
don't
at the
use
end,
them.
you can be like, oh, that one, and like call back to what you said.
Okay. So, well, it's like a story though.
We want to hear it.
Let me get comfortable. Let me get
We're
comfortable.
sass.
So I was supposed to move into the bunny house. That was like the plan, right? And then basically you called me because the plan was I was supposed to move in a couple weeks. And you called me and you said that Kendra, I don't know if you remember this at all.
I remember it, but I remember it in a different sequence. I remember this happening after you moved in.
No, I never moved in.
Oh, so this was the idea
supposed
phase?
to. I was supposed to move in within weeks, like I said. So it was so crazy. It was just like, wow, that's weird. The whole thing was so weird because I always wanted again, I was a fan of you girls, so I thought all of you were so cool, and just like I wanted to be friends with all of you. I thought Kendra seemed so cool, and she always had it out for me from like the moment I got to the mansion.
Do you know where that stemmed from?
I do. Well, I don't know where it started.
Yeah.
I think where it started was, and I had no intention of ever like being anything more than just a playmate and getting the experience of being around, the mansion. But I think at the time, because you guys were all kind of on your way out, or like you were already like evolving into different phases of your life at this point, Kendra was she was the one that was like really not really involved at all with anything except for when she had to be, right? And then obviously she was like talking to guys on the side or whatever. And so I think she felt like threatened that I might try to like take her place. And I'm not saying that in like a, haha, like I'm saying that and I'm pretty positive that's exactly what it was.
No, I think she was probably onto something because you guys weren't told, but like what Kevin told me was he was like, I need you to like invite some girls to come participate on the show because Kendra's like being really difficult. She's not participating and we might have to replace her. So we want to see who's good, not to like be a girlfriend, but to like just live at the house and be like another cast member.
And I wonder if she heard that or knew that somehow.
Yeah,
or just
maybe she
felt
like
it.
sensed it, or maybe somebody like gave her like an ultimatum or something slipped out or something like that.
Yeah, because she just, she never wanted to be my friend, never really wanted anything to do with me. And And then you called me when I was supposed to move in, and you said, Hef called Mary or talked to Mary, and basically Kendra like freaked out when she found out I was going to be moving into the bunny house. And then that was it. Basically, Hef called it off and said that I couldn't move into the bunny house anymore.
Yeah, and she was making shit up because Hef like wandered into the van and he was like, "Oh, well, Kayla's got to go. She's a shit stir." Like, what are you talking about?
I
And he goes,
remember.
Kendra says she's a shit stir and starting
You
problems
told
with the
me
girls.
this.
And I was like, what? And then like I knew where it was coming from. I know that, she feels threatened now.
I remember now. I remember that conversation where you actually like you told me that you didn't want to like get into too much, but you were like, yeah, unfortunately, like, and I don't know where this is all coming from, but I do remember that as part of our conversation. And that actually happened to me, ironically, again with the twins. They did some like weird stuff to me when I because I started hanging out with them like after you guys were gone. I would hang out at the mansion, and they love to work out, so I'd always like work out with them. And at the time, I was like super into hip hop, but we all loved hip hop music. You know, we had things that we could relate to one another with, and they did some Mean Girl things too. I think there was like so much Mean Girl stuff going on. This was so weird. I showed up to the mansion one day, and you guys were already, you were already moved out, and the twins were in, and I would go there all the time. So I was there like through the weekdays, whatever, would go work out with them. We'd order food, and all of a sudden I get there, I'd come back from like 2 weeks out of town, and security was like, there's a note here that you can't come up. And I was like, oh. They're like, yeah, just over the weekends now you're allowed to come up. And I was like, oh, okay, that's like really weird. And I hadn't heard from the twins, but I was like, I thought they were like friends of mine, you know, but they were all very young and very catty at the time. And so apparently they told Hef that I was like eating their frozen yogurt or like their non-fat frozen yogurt or something, and I couldn't come up there because of that. It was
my God.
just the stupidest thing. And then I found out from the butlers, like some of the butlers ended up telling me that was like what it was of why I couldn't come up there anymore.
Oh my God.
What a weird, like, oh my gosh, just the Mean Girl stuff that was around that era was so stupid.
I feel like you came in right when things were changing.
Yeah.
And you got like a shitty
experience.
Of it.
Obviously, like,
well, you got a
I loved
partially
you
good
girls, and and I
Yeah.
had so much fun. So I had a ton of fun, and I hate to like bring in any negative light because my experience is still like epic, you know. And so I guess, and I was so used to just dealing with that kind of stuff through my life, but it was hurtful for sure. But it doesn't necessarily taint my experience. I just know who were my real friends and who were just fake. And there was a lot of fake girls that were.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So when you were staying at the mansion, did you get to go out in LA a lot? Like, what was your LA experience like then?
Yeah, it was crazy because, you know, being a playmate was like, you could just, it was like the shoe into everything, you know? It was like you could go hang out with whoever. Like, I met so many people through the mansion, and also just like from being a playmate, it was like, oh yeah, like of course she could be there, and like let's all be friends with her. Like I would hang out with like the person who actually named me a green square was Fabulous the rapper, his manager, because I used to be hang out with them a lot, and all the like rappers that I grew up, like I literally through my teens like listened to these people, and then I just thought it was so cool. Like I would go and met one of my best friends, it's still one of my best friends today, through going and hanging out with Rick Ross, like so random. I've met so many people over the years. I'm like, it's crazy. Like I think, and it all stemmed from the Playboy world, you know. It just opened a ton of doors to like connect with people. And yeah, I remember I used to like hang out with Chris Evans a lot too. Like that was somebody, he was always at the mansion, like he was there a lot. Yeah, so there was all kinds of people that I connected with over the years. Yeah.
What about the mansion parties? Do you have a favorite?
I loved, well, I think Midsummer's was probably my favorite party because it was the middle of summer and I just loved the outfits and I loved the whole vibe of Midsummer's and it was so iconic, you know, it was like everybody knew about Midsummer's. So that was probably my favorite. And then I loved the 4th of July as like,
That's my favorite.
yeah, as like one of our kind of like more family-ish type of holidays, you know, like it was just so fun.
So this next
This
question.
is the one I was going to ask.
Oh, you do it, you do it,
But I
you
was
do it.
like, I remember it's in here somewhere, so I'll wait.
Okay, this is something we heard from a playmate, so I don't know if it's true, but you go.
Okay. Did you meet Hank Basket
Oh my gosh,
at
you
the
guys are
2008 Golf Scramble?
you guys are asking me all these questions that I like planned on answering later. I did meet Hank at that. Where was it that you said that I met him?
The Golf Scramble?
That's what the party was?
That's what we heard.
No, I didn't meet him at the golf scramble.
Oh.
But I met Hank actually at a party. You guys, all three of you went out of town. It was just like a random, like you were going for like a day or so, and you were supposed to come back like within that day. Kendra came back early, and I don't think you guys made it back. I don't know if, or maybe you just didn't come out or whatever. But there was a party going on at the mansion, and Hank was there, and the only reason that I even cared to meet Hank in the first place was because I am from Pennsylvania and he played for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I was always like an Eagles fan. I've never been like big into football, but like at the time, I mean, that was, 2008. I was fresh off the plane, and I was like, this is cool. Like I'm getting
totally.
to meet a Eagles player, and we took pictures and stuff like that. And that was another problem that kind of I had no idea that like she was even talking to Hank, or I didn't have any like intention of talking to Hank either. So like none of that was ever a thing.
I actually really enjoy cooking, but planning the meals and going shopping for them, sometimes that is just not on my agenda. But it can be simple and stress-free. Imagine having your weekly shopping cart filled for you and your meals for the week decided on. Now that is what I need. Taking all that work off my plate is why I love Hungry Root. Hungry Root takes the stress out of mealtime by filling your cart with personalized picks and planning your week of meals, getting smarter with every order. With over 15,000 recipes to choose from each week, many ready in just 15 minutes or less, which I love, and a wide grocery selection including smoothies, sweets, kids snacks, salad kits, ready-to-eat meals, and supplements. It's easy to find options that fit your whole family's taste and nutrition goals. I love doing my grocery shopping online and have it all delivered to my front door. It saves me so much time. Plus, they have so many meal ideas in there. I can just like pick out what I'm feeling like for that week. And it's perfect for me because I get stuck in a slump and start making the same foods all the time. And then I feel uninspired and then it ends up to be takeout and it's just a vicious cycle. But not with Hungry Root. So take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/nextlevel and use code NEXTLEVEL. That's hungryroot.com/nextlevel, code NEXTLEVEL to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/nextlevel, code NEXTLEVEL.
And I think I remember I used to have like Google alerts set with my name. And I remember an article coming out. I don't know what exactly you said, but you mentioned, was it because of like something you said on your podcast? But there was some sort of article that came out saying that you talked about this situation with Kendra.
Yeah,
We've
because
probably mentioned it before.
we've definitely mentioned it somewhere. Because like a playmate, because like there was the time when Kendra didn't want you to move in, and I was like so confused. Like, what is that all about? Like, what's her problem? And then a playmate told me later, like when I was in Vegas, she told me this story about how like Hank liked you, and then Kendra met Hank at the golf scramble and found out that like Hank was talking to you or liked you or something. And then that was when it was like,
Okay, this makes so much more sense to me. 'Cause
Yeah.
I thought she met him that night, but now this makes so much sense to me because I didn't see her at the party. I just like, so there was the golf scramble going on, and then after the golf scramble, they had a party at the mansion. So Hank was there, and we had like taken a bunch of pictures, and that was literally it. And then we exchanged numbers, but I wasn't interested in Hank like that.
Yeah.
I genuinely was never interested in him, and so I didn't like talk to him like that or anything. But so I never was like into Hank at all. And then obviously Kendra really was, and so she just felt threatened that I had met him and like
Yeah.
knew that I exchanged numbers with him. It was literally as simple as that though.
yeah.
Which is a shame because I think that was like right before I had planned on moving in. That was all around the same time. So that was the biggest culprit when she found out about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a couple things going on. She was like jealous that you were talking to Hank before she was, and maybe had something going on
Yes.
in her mind anyway.
Yeah.
And then found out that you were going to be moving in
Yes.
and maybe being part of the show, and it was just like
All
she
these
had to do
things.
something.
Yeah. It's a shame.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because, like, I would never want to speak, like, negatively. I never had any, like, negative feelings towards Kendra ever, but she never accepted me in to where, like, I just knew she always hated me. And it was always like, oh, that's sad because, like, I always thought she was so interesting on the show before I met her because she's, like, more the sporty, you know, and I was kind of like, I liked that. And I thought she was fascinating. So I was like, oh, we can't be friends, I guess.
Yeah,
But
it's a bummer.
I know. But yeah, it was, and I never got to speak on that. And I knew that that was like something you guys had talked about, and it ended up in the press. And I was like, wow, but that literally, like, it wasn't what people thought it was at all.
Yeah. So you said you were hanging out with the twins when they moved in, and they kind of banned you a little bit. But did you see much of like the transition and how things changed at the mansion? And
Yeah, it was weird. It was so weird. It was such a different world when you guys left. I hated it. Like, it was not the same. But I was friends with them because, again, like, we had similar interests, and they were like, the stories they would tell me, I was like, oh my goodness, like, I don't want to know this much detail.
Like what kind of stories?
Oh, just like, I mean, they've publicly talked about, like, you know, just their, I guess, like, sex life with, like, Hef, but also with, like, I mean, they give me way too many gory details.
I've heard from, not from those girls, but I've heard from other girls that were going up to the bedroom at the time, some weird fucking shit.
Yeah. And but then that was, you know, one thing. But then it was just funny because obviously, like, I think they were like 18. They were so young. And the fact that Hef even wanted them as like new girlfriends was crazy because they were like, I think they also admired Kendra because it was like they came in and like literally it was like they were the new Kendras, like double Kendra, but like on steroids. Like they were so wild. Like I don't know because I didn't know Kendra like that well, but they were wild. Like they would be, you know, FaceTiming like Tyrese, like I'd be in the room with them and they like FaceTime, or they like always hang out with like Juicy J, like that was like their guy, like they always hang, and they were pretty wild. They were living the life in the mansion. It was like a crazy time, and I think the thing we bonded over the most was like just working out and like eating. Like we would just like work out and then order food, and then I think they also felt like threatened in a whatever way, obviously, because I left and came back, and then all of a sudden I was just banned for no reason, and they didn't even address it with me. It wasn't until like years later. I was always more friends with I was friends with both of them, but Christina was much more empathetic and like more my type of person because she had that personality, and eventually they admitted like it was not right what they did, but they were like young and stupid and whatever. And I thought it was meant to be like a turning point in my life because I was spending so much time at the mansion and like it was just not the same anymore anyway. And like movie nights, everything, it just nothing was the same anymore. And so I was like, you know what? I think this is like God's plan, you know? Like I think this is my plan to just kind of like, I still went on the weekends, but that was like it. And I stopped going so frequently because I felt really uncomfortable with that they were like obviously talking bad about me to half or whatever. And so that was an experience as well.
We've heard so many stories about how much it changed afterwards.
Yeah,
and
just like everybody being taken off the guest list.
Yeah,
and
that was weird.
the parties going downhill.
Yes, the parties went completely downhill. Everything just changed. It just wasn't the same. It was like the end of an era when the Girls Next Door was over, and they tried to continue it with those girls, and it just didn't. It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Because it was called Girls Next Door for a season with them on it, right? Yeah, and that was awkward.
Yeah, totally.
It just didn't work. It didn't make the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get to know Crystal much?
Not like, I mean, I was around her and but I wasn't like super close with her because her and the twins like hated each other from what I understand, or they weren't like big fans of each other because they were such different personalities. So I just kind of like stuck with the twins, and then when that all fizzled out, I was always cool with everybody, and I think I might have still been around for a period, and I never had any issues with Crystal by any means. She's always been a sweet girl, but I never really like got to know her on a like otherwise like of a surface level, you know.
Yeah.
How long did you work for Playmate Promotions? Was there a break in between?
I have worked for Playboy Promotions like literally to this day. Like
So there was no big break or anything?
maybe like during the pandemic.
Yeah,
Obviously like when things kind of shut down, and then that's when the brand was like changing their identity and they brought in that creator platform. And but I've done signings and like things over the years, and yeah, now they obviously know that I'm a DJ, and so we are doing, like, I've been DJing some of their events.
So when did you get into DJing? Was it almost like right after your Playmate era?
Yeah, so when I was 21, I learned to DJ. I had like a mentor who taught me, and I learned on vinyl turntables, and it was at the time like so scary because you can mess up so easily with vinyl. Like if somebody bumps the vinyl or anything, like it's just so easy to have something go wrong, and that terrified me.
Yeah.
So even though I learned when I was 21, I didn't actually start like publicly DJing until it was years later because I was just so scared. Like everybody had to convince me, hey, this is like your biggest passion behind closed doors. And I had issues in modeling and acting, like the casting couch world of, you know what I mean by that, right? Like, although I will say the entertainment industry in general is full of that. You can't really get away from it in the DJ world, which I thought maybe you could, but like there's still creeps like in the DJ world too. Yeah, that's
incessant.
Yeah, to try to leverage their whatever their power is to, oh, well, if I book you here, like I have actually. There was a guy who was he managed, you probably know of this guy, but he managed a bunch of different Playmates. Specifically, like he was such a jerk and just such a scumbag because he was terrible. He basically like had me come to the W, and I think like a couple of the girls that he managed were DJing, and this was when I was first getting out there, and I was like, oh, he's the guy, like I think he was always booking Jade on appearances, and I knew that he specifically booked Playmates that were DJs. So I just thought, oh, this is the perfect guy. And he basically propositioned me and was like, let me manage you, and you don't even have to pay me, just this is so disgusting. He would say, I don't, all the girls that I work with, like, I have a like relationship with. Like, he implied that he like
Oh my
he had sex with all
God.
of them, okay? And he was like, just let me, I don't even have to go down on you. All I want to do is just kiss your legs. That's all I want to do. Just let me kiss your legs. You don't have to do anything. Just let me kiss your legs. And I was like, okay, no. I like blocked him on everything.
Oh my God,
And
ew.
completely just, I was like, I'm not involved with this guy at all. So then he went on this smear campaign and called every club, like any club I would work with. People would tell me then that he would call and try to get his girls booked there. And he would call me and like figure out a way to like work around, like block his number, I had like a landline at the time, would call my landline. And he like told me one time, oh yeah, this club, it was like one of the first places I ever DJ'd. He's like, yeah, they said you sucked. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're
Yikes.
such a like evil man.
Yeah.
And then something really bad happened to his health. And I'm like, isn't that interesting?
Is it
Like,
called karma?
Karma. That's what I was thinking, because I was like, man, he did so many girls. Like, he was really grimy, and I've heard so many stories over the years now, having DJ'd for so long. Like, people will ask me, do I know who he is, and then will tell me a story about him, and
Oh
it's
my
never
God.
good. Like, I've never heard a
Whoa.
good story.
That's scary.
Yeah, he needs to be locked up. But I think
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I think his karma kind of like locked him up.
Yeah.
Like to where
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you still close with any of the playmates from your era?
I talked to Claire Sinclair, because Claire was like, she was, what year was she Playmate of the Year?
I want to say, well, probably 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was still like around the mansion a lot, and she
Yeah.
was like with Marston, and I almost felt like she was like a little sister in a way. So I always kept in touch with her and had like a love for her. Like, she used to like come and stay at my place and stuff. And
So what is your favorite mansion memory?
so I think it would be a broad answer, like all of my answers, in that I just think the entire experience, like every single thing about the mansion was just so cool. Like the fact that I watched you girls on the show and then manifested this whole thing into reality, and got to be there and hang out with, the people that I was like, I just thought were so cool. And then getting to order food from the butlers and like whatever you wanted. Like, it just was so fascinating too, how you could order whatever you wanted and they would just make whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
And getting to, there was obviously parties when you're staying there all the time, like on random nights, like Tuesday night you'd go out back, and like Simon Cowell and like Randy Jackson would be just like chilling in the backyard, and it was just so, like, it was just surreal,
Yeah.
So I think I couldn't pinpoint like one specific memory, because there's just so many good memories. Like, my overall experience was a really good one with Playboy.
That's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
glad.
Good. Do you have a weirdest mansion memory?
So the weirdest kind of ties into some things I told you guys about the situation with Kendra. And I don't know if you knew this, but that weekend that I said you went out of town, so you girls were gone for the night. And I don't know if you ever knew, Holly, but Hef would always tell me that I reminded him of like his childhood crush growing up.
Oh, really?
And it was like this, I don't know, from like an old movie.
Probably Alice Faye or somebody.
That's what I was gonna
It was
say.
like it was like a little girl, blonde girl.
Wait, a little girl?
She was like a little girl. Yeah. Like in the movie, I swear she must
I am
have been like, she was
Like,
a little girl.
Who is this?
From what I don't remember exactly. I wish I could remember so bad, because now I can't.
Text me if
ask.
you remember.
I
So
will.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Yes. But so you guys were away, and he always told me, like, when we would do the card nights, he would always tell me, like, oh, you remind me of my childhood crush. And maybe like growing up, he was also like a kid when he had this crush.
Oh.
Yeah, because it was like,
I'm like, what?
yeah, no,
Who's this little kid?
yeah. So I think it was like, it was a black and white movie, and he was like, oh, you guys were away, and he's like, do you want to see the girl that I had a crush on? And I was like, sure, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna see if it was the butlers who would pull up like the movies for him, right, in his room.
Like he had like a staff upstairs.
Okay, yeah. So
the human TiVo.
He was like, I'm gonna call them and ask them to pull it up. So he invited me up to his room, and he started showing me this movie, and I was like, I felt a little uncomfortable because it was just him and I was like, okay, I'm gonna. I saw the part, that showed the girl, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna head down to. I was staying down the hall because that was like one thing that I loved. Was I felt like I got this special privilege to like stay in the mansion because I was like close with you, and like so I don't know, I wasn't even at the. I think it was before I was moving into the guest house. So I was down the hall, and he's like, oh, here, I'll walk you to your room. So he walks me to the room, and he starts following me into the bedroom I was staying in. And then he like went to like kiss me goodnight. And I was like, oh, and I like ran over to the window because there was a party going on at the time, that golf. What was it called?
Like the golf scramble?
Yeah. So the golf scramble was going on outside, and I was like ready to go out to this party. So I like ran to the window, and I was like, look at all the people out there. And he came over to the window with me, and they spotted him, and they started all freaking out. And he was like, okay, like, I'm going to head to bed now. I'll see you tomorrow. And so then the next day, he pulled me aside and said, I wanted to apologize, like if I had maybe got the wrong impression, or, and I think he was kind of feeling me out because then he said, but if I didn't get the wrong impression, I would love for you to consider being a girlfriend. And literally never spoke about this to anybody. And I didn't want to tell you guys because I knew there was already this like weird kind of like drama dimension with like the Kendra thing. So I think that was definitely the weirdest, and I politely declined, and he said, no, it's fine. One thing about Hef that I will say is, like, he was a gentleman at anything that I'd experienced.
Can I just say, though, that I'm fucking pissed. Not at you, but at him.
He did that?
Yeah, 100%. Because that was not...
He didn't even talk to you about it.
Fuck no. And, like, I could... Like, even when I think back on that time period, like, I could never even imagine, like, another girl moving in. And I would never invite someone into the house
without,
or
like,
to be a
talking
playmate
with you,
and
too.
put them in danger.
I know.
Like that.
Yeah.
Ever.
And I was like... I mean,
oh my God,
I was
I want to punch this guy right now. I'm not even kidding.
I know.
Like, fuck this guy.
Well, and the
I swear to
situation
God.
wasn't even like that at this point. Like, Kendra and I were not in the bedroom with him. It was a monogamous relationship between those two.
I know.
So the fact that he was doing that while we're just out one night doing a signing for his fucking company.
You know what it makes
I
me
never
believe?
told you because I knew this would, like, stir shit up, and I just was
no,
like...
I don't. I'd rather know.
Yeah.
But... it makes me think that story and Secrets of Playboy is true because, like, when Hef was married, I guess Kimberly was out of town on a ski trip, and there was a woman testing, and she got, like, called into Hef's room, and he's like, oh, do you want to... They smoked weed and stuff, and he, like... I don't remember if they actually had sex or not, but he, like, tried to. And then she left, and she didn't get Playmate, and then she... according to her, got like a mean call from Kimberly, like, did you try to sleep with my husband? I heard you were in his room. And then Hef for the rest of his life is always, I was faithful to my marriage the entire time. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I hate to, like, I don't want to bash Hef, but I know you guys had different experiences, and I've also, like, witnessed the different things that you've gone through over the time. Like, he was very much like he's like old school, like he was like really tell you like how he felt like about your outfit. Like I remember when we went to Vegas for our birthdays, and my outfit, like he pulled me aside and he was like, do you have anything other than that? Because that's really like, I do not like that outfit at all. It's ugly.
Stop.
And it was
Oh
like
my
a baby
God.
doll dress. Like it was totally cheesy, but I like was literally like, I felt like a little child at this point to where I just like was dressing like a little baby doll. And like, I liked that. And I remember he would say stuff to you. Like, I remember you came downstairs and you were like all upset because he told you looked fat in what you were wearing or something like that. You didn't. You looked amazing.
Constant, yeah.
But like it was, I knew that. So he just like very much spoke his mind on, the things that he felt. And but you know, my experience was always like he didn't fault me for, or he wasn't like, he didn't treat me any differently, but I guess maybe because that's when everything kind of like went downhill, because then the thing with Kendra happened literally that same night. I went out to that party and that's when I met Hank.
Oh.
So it was like that all happened in that same weekend.
Weird.
And that's that's the weirdest thing that's ever happened with the Playboy days with me.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder too, like when Kendra was talking shit and he comes in and is like, oh, Kayla's a shitster. Like maybe part of him was like embarrassed because he felt that maybe you swerved him.
Right. Oh, I'm sure.
Who knows?
It was weird. And especially because I just wasn't like in that mode, you know. I was like, this is so cool. And like, he's like, you know, like,
Yeah.
he's just not the homie, but like, you know, he's just like, I felt like you guys were like family to me. Like, I didn't think of it like I wanted to date him, you know?
Yeah.
And so it was weird, but I didn't feel like he ever acted weird to me after that. But maybe now that I'm playing it all back, maybe this is all kind of where it began,
So strange.
because I wasn't allowed to move into the bunny house. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Weird.
I know, but
So crazy. It's so disheartening because I feel like when I think back on it, like even though I had a horrible time, like especially in the beginning, like I tend to really idealize like the later years, even though obviously things were bad because I left. But I feel like talking to Angel too, like she reminds me of stuff like, oh, remember you got in the limo and you were so upset because Hef called you and said this. And it's like all this extra stuff is coming back. Like sometimes I'll watch an
sorry.
episode. No. It's not like I don't feel connected to it in that way. Like it doesn't, like it makes me kind of mad, but it doesn't like upset me really. It's just, I think we tried so hard to like make it good up there. So like I like to think back at like 2007 and think, oh, things were really good at that time. So I hate to hear that there was mean girl stuff going on in the guest house or things like that. It just
yeah.
sucks.
And I think you were already gone at that point to where like I couldn't talk to you
Yeah.
about it. And then you knew a little bit about the Kendra stuff, but it was more just disappointing to me, and it kind of all just like unraveled from there. It was like then the new girls came in really kind of shortly after that. Like
Yeah.
everything fell apart. You all left, and then new girls came in, and just the entire thing changed.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? I would love to keep sitting here and talking, but I have to go get the kids for dinner. That's literally the only reason I'm cutting this off.
I know, because it's been so amazing.
I know. It's been such a good episode. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah,
It's
thank
so
you
good
guys
to
for
see you
having
again.
me. I'm
Absolutely.
so excited for you. I love the set.
Thank you.
Everything. Yeah, this is awesome.
So cool.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.